Hello, my name is Bruno Wollmann for Gestalt IT. I'm an independent network architect, and you can find me at Wollmann Bruno on Twitter. I'm joined today by Rob Marti from VMware.
Hi guys, I'm Rob Marti. I am a healthcare industry strategist with VMware. I come to VMware with 20 years experience on the provider space, and I'm happy to join you. You can find me at rmarty13 on Twitter.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us today, Rob. I wonder if you could give us a little bit of an overview of what SD-WAN is.
Sure. SD-WAN is a flexible technology to replace a legacy wide area network approach. It really is a software approach, and it is one that is showing great promise in time to market in terms of enabling connections. Also has some benefits in terms of cost reduction and performance.
Thank you. So today we're here to talk about VMware's VeloCloud SD-WAN solution, particularly in healthcare. There's a lot going on in the world right now. Is there any particular priorities that VMware has for healthcare right now?
Yeah, well, the provider space is really dealing with a number of issues. One is securely enabling a remote workforce. Second is really the ability to remotely deliver care. And third, really a segmentation of the clinical workforce, really to protect the staff that are directly addressing the COVID population, and then continuing to care for the typical acute patients. VMware is helping providers in all of those spaces. From a telehealth perspective, VeloCloud enables us really to help support pop-up clinic for one. In this way, we can deploy a VeloCloud Edge appliance that is maybe LTE enabled and allow the providers in those critical testing centers to be able to document appropriately on patients, whether those centers are mobile, moving, like in a case where maybe they're in a van, or maybe if they just set up in a parking lot. It really enables a fast way to stay connected and receive that patient information that's so vital, or document that information that's vital in the process. And in a very similar way, we're securely enabling remote workers in the home, or in a coffee shop, or wherever they may be, where they're connecting and working to really make sure that things like, let's say the Xbox, the kids' Xbox, aren't getting in the way of the critical PACS application, where perhaps a radiologist is reading images remotely and providing that as a service for the hospital, in lieu of him or her actually traveling into the office.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Healthcare itself is by itself a really broad topic. Is there any specific use cases that you can go into detail about?
I think specifically radiology has been a big use case for us. Radiology images are rather large, and the demands on the network are fairly substantial. We're talking about, in some cases, multi-terabyte images read on 5+ megapixel screens with real demanding workloads from just the PACS application perspective, and then tie in the EMR as well. And you've got to maintain a really highly performant connection, capable of securely delivering health information to a radiologist in such a way that that radiologist can be highly productive for the patients and for the workload that he's got delivered. So that would be a primary primary use case. I think another use case would be the remote worker use case, right? Really making sure that we can enable those workers as seamlessly as possible to ensure that the experience at home is much like the experience in the office, to boost productivity and to really ensure security, right? And to do that, we use a couple of technologies in VeloCloud that that take a modern approach to kind of the legacy WAN architecture. In lieu of backhauling all of the traffic to the corporate data center, we can steer traffic into the public cloud for, let's say, consumption of Office 365 or other SaaS-based service, and really optimize that traffic, make sure that it's delivered securely while optimizing the connection back to the corporate data center.
Nice. So there's, as long as humans exist on this planet, there's going to be a need for healthcare. What future opportunities do you see for VeloCloud and, VMware in particular?
Well, we really see patient care more and more extending into the home, really delivering remote patient monitoring, and really think there's opportunities, especially in the rural parts of the country where connectivity might be limited, to really optimize that traffic, whether it be over an LTE connection or a broadband internet connection, to allow the provider not only to monitor the patient, but also to engage with that patient should the need arise. Also, we see a real opportunity in the management of the Internet of Medical Things, right? These devices that are engaged in or really just tracking biometric data and making that data available to providers. It's kind of similar to remote patient care, but it's this stream of machine data that is maybe flowing into the provider's workflow via their electronic medical record and allows for timely interventions. And then really just one of the things that has the board's attention really is this expansion of, or the importance of the patient experience, right? Ensuring that the patient can engage with us in whether maybe they're having an acute condition or running a fever, but also in their health, right? And setting goals and really looking at improving the health of the populations that we serve in healthcare. And we see that connectivity, broadband or otherwise, is an important factor in that engagement. And we believe that in each one of those cases, really ensuring the optimal experience will require newer approaches to ensuring a really performant, high quality connection between the patient and the provider, or the consumer and the provider.
Right on. That's really great. It sounds like VMware has a really good vision for what healthcare needs in the future. Thanks for joining me in this conversation today, Rob.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bruno.